Hi guys, it's Taylor. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new video. So this is my first time doing a budget video for you guys, but I've had a few different requests for it. I brought it up in a previous video and I had a few people tell me that they thought seeing my budget would be really helpful and you guys would enjoy these types of videos. So here I am. I'm showing you my budget planner. So this is the Erin Condren monthly planner. It used to be called the Deluxe Monthly, but now they just called it the Monthly. I have planned my budget in this planner before. Back in January of 2019, I started off in the Deluxe Monthly with my budget, and then in January of this year, I ended up switching to a Petite Monthly planner for my budgeting. But honestly, I liked that it was convenient with how small it was, but it honestly was kind of difficult just to like maneuver around the Petite planner, and since it was just so tiny, you felt like you didn't have a lot of room. And anyways, long story short, I decided that the monthly full-size planner was a lot easier for me. This is just the 7x9. You can also get the monthly planner in an 8x11.5, I think is the size, which is much bigger. So if you're somebody that has a lot of expenses to track, then maybe the bigger size will be helpful for you. But this seems to work just fine for me. It may even be a little bit too much room, but it's a little bit better than the Petite. So anyways, this is the planner cover that I customized. I believe this cover you can only purchase right now like on a planner. They don't have it separate in the interchangeable covers section for some reason, but this is the color block planner cover. I do also have this color block design in the Erin Condren folio as well, so it's gonna match this planner. But anyways, I'll try to remember what colors I used. I think it was linen and rosewood, and then this was, I can't remember, but it's like a really, really dark gray. And then I just added budget 2020 to 2021. Now, normally I do like starting my budget in January and having like my budget for the year. But now that I'm teaching, my contract is an academic year contract rather than starting in January. So it's just a lot easier now for me to just go ahead and start my planner for budgeting in July. So anyways, I really haven't set very much up in this planner yet. Sorry about my lights. But I wanted to kind of just flip through real quick and show you guys what my plan is. And then we're just gonna jump right into my July budget, mostly because July has already started and I really need to get it put into my planner. I've already started it on scratch paper and on my computer, but I'm ready to get it into my planner. And then once I have my July budget going, then I'm gonna kind of backtrack and set up some of these other pages in the planner. So I do need to get my name written in, and then this first mini months page I plan on using as a payment tracker for certain bills that are due throughout the year and that sort of thing. So I'm going to be using some of those transparent dot stickers to just sort of keep track of when certain bills are due, what's coming up, and then create some sort of key that I will probably put down here to cover up these months, since I won't need July through December of 2021 because I will most likely be starting in a new planner. So my plan is to create a payment tracker on these two pages. These pages I'm kind of hoping to create a savings tracker, or I kind of was thinking about also doing a debt tracker as well. I'm pretty open about debt. I'm only about $44,000 in debt between my student loans and my new car that I just bought. So when it comes to the grand scheme of being in debt, like that's not as much money as it could be. So anyways, I was thinking of either creating a debt tracker or a savings tracker right here. I feel like it would be easier to create the debt tracker and then create a savings tracker once I have completely paid off my debt. But I'm kind of bouncing the ideas around. I could even maybe make this a debt and savings tracker, but basically I would dedicate each box to a month, and then I would just show my progress on the debts that are being paid off and the amount of money that I'm putting into savings each month. Okay, then we jump into the months in the planner. Okay, so for the notes page that's in front of July, I plan on using this page to track my variable income. So the variable income that I receive would be the money that I get from my side hustle job selling Arbonne, as well as any money that I get through affiliate programs, as well as YouTube. Right now, I don't make any income off of YouTube, but I am hoping that eventually I will become monetized, and then this will just be a way that I can track the income from that. And then we open up to the monthly view. This is where I am wanting to track my spending, as well as keep track of my bills over here on the sidebar. So the system that I've kind of created for this, and I will dive into more detail, but I created just this little key card. So I definitely stole this idea from Sara Marie over on YouTube. She owns her own sticker shop called Sara Marie Stickers, but back in January of 2019, I started watching her budget videos, and she would basically treat these pages as a way to track her spending in certain categories. So the categories I picked for myself are groceries, eating out, gas, personal care, and then unbudgeted, because those are kind of the variable expenses that I tend to shop for the most, and that I try to keep track of throughout the in in my weekly check-ins. So that's the key I'm going to be using. I just slapped this on one of Erin Condren's compliment cards. These actually came free with my planner purchases this year. And then I just grabbed one of their coil connectors. I have a pack of them and just slapped it onto the compliment card. So then I can easily take it in and out and move it from month to month. It is so convenient, and if you decide, halfway through the year you want to switch up your categories, it's really easy to just make a new one or pull off those stickers and put new ones on. But then it's also a great way to kind of hold your place in your planner. I should have put the coil connectors down a little bit because it's sticking out quite a bit, but that's all right. All right, so there is my spending tracker pages, and then you open up to the dashboard. So last year when I was using the deluxe monthly for my budgeting, I did not have these dashboard pages because the planner I was in the Woven Wonders pattern. So it was before Kaleidoscope pattern came out, and I did not have these dashboard pages. So I kind of did some research, and I stole some different ideas from Sara Marie as well as some other budget planner people on YouTube, and this is sort of what I came up with. So this page I'm going to be using for an online orders tracker. I tend to do a lot of my shopping online, especially now with this pandemic. I feel like it's the only way I shop anymore. So I really would like a way to kind of keep track from month to month what I am purchasing online, when I receive it, and all of that sort of stuff. So I actually messaged Sara Marie on Instagram and asked her if she could create an online orders tracker that would match her other budget kits. So she said she put it on her list, and hopefully she comes up with something like that. But for now, I'm just going to try and create it myself. And then over here on these pages, so up here, I would like to just list my financial goals for the month, whether that is, saving for something in particular or cutting back on spending in a certain area or whatever it is, whatever my focus is for that month, that's what I'm going to put up there. Then here, I think I'm going to just keep track of my credit score. This is an idea that I also got from Sara Marie. And then over here, I think I'm going to use this as my debt tracker. So if I use the other previous pages as a savings tracker, then I'm thinking I'll just keep track of my debt payments on here. I don't know. Again, I'm kind of bouncing back and forth with the ideas. And then down here on this dot grid area, I kind of want to create a spending analyzer by category. So I know that that kind of sounds repetitive with these pages, but this would be a little bit different. So I would actually use this at the end of the month to keep track of what percentages in certain categories that I spent my money. But this wouldn't be the categories from this page, like groceries, eating out, gas. It would be more like the types of places I'm spending my money, you know, retail, fast food, whatever it is, just so that way I can kind of get a better idea of what percentage of my income I am spending on certain things or at certain places. So, and then you open up to the notes pages. So something that's different this year in the monthly planners are that you have more notes pages than you did previously. And for me personally, I don't need that many extra notes pages, but it's nice to have them in case there ends up being something that I want to add later. But for now, I'm pretty much going to do what I did in the past. So this page is going to be my July budget, and then this page is going to be my weekly check-in. I think last year I actually put the budget on this page and the weekly check-in on this page, but I think I'm going to try it this way. We'll see how it looks. And then this page is going to be sinking funds. I am starting fresh with sinking funds. I tried them about a year ago, but I just wasn't really getting quite enough income, it felt like, to be able to start sinking funds accounts. And now that I'm in my career and I'm on a salary, I have some very specific things that I would like to open up sinking funds accounts for. I put that in quotations because I'm not actually going to create different accounts for all of my sinking funds. But I'm going to start small. I have just a few categories that I'm going to start with. And then hopefully I will be able to slowly add more. Over here is just going to be the transaction log for those sinking funds, what I put in, what I take out. So there's probably not really going to be a whole lot of action here, especially starting like maybe these first 6 months of the year. It's mostly just going to be me dumping money into my sinking funds and hopefully not taking very much out. But that is what I have going for those pages. And then I added this back here, possibly putting like a sticker kit tracker for each month, and just kind of making sure that I'm staying in budget with my stickers, because that tends to be something that I struggle with going overboard on when it comes to my monthly spending. But that's just kind of an idea. And as you can see, you have plenty of these extra pages that I don't really have any use for at this moment. So anyways, the focus for today is we're just going to be setting up my July budget. So we're going to set up these two pages in the monthly view. Then we're going to set up the actual budget and my weekly check-in categories. And then we will just go ahead and lay down the stickers for the sinking funds and transaction log as well. I figured I could just kind of do it all in one because, again, I don't really have enough going on, I feel like, to create a bunch of separate videos. So that is the plan for now. So we're just going to go ahead and get started with these pages first. Okay, so first things first is I did purchase Sara Marie's budget stickers. So I have all of those here with me. And then these tracking stickers I actually bought from Planner Kate. These are the ones that I used back in 2019. So I just decided I might as well finish these. Sara Marie does make some of these herself, but again, I already had them, and what's the point in purchasing something when you already have those? So anyways, I'm gonna be using her monthly stickers to kind of just make this page more decorative and make it match her other stickers. I was thinking about just keeping it how it is because I actually really love the layers, but I figured this would honestly just kind of tie everything together and make it all matchy-matchy, especially if it's on a month that has a kit that maybe doesn't actually match the color as well. So totally not necessary, but it also wasn't really expensive to just add this in with the other stickers that I purchased. So I'm just gonna lay these down and then use these down here at the bottom. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and just remove these. So then as far as bills go, I think what I'm gonna do for bills is use, I have several different bill stickers. I forgot to grab them, give me one sec. So Latruce Papery on Etsy has some really cute bill tracker stickers, but again, it was one of those things where I was like, okay, I already have some bill stickers laying around and I feel like I just need to use them. I do wish that Sara made her own bill due stickers. I think that the way that she does it, I'm not honestly remembering well, but she might just use her version of these stickers to track her bills. But for me personally, I think that I like these ones better. I also have these little samplers from Planner Kate as well. So again, I have tons and tons laying around. Okay, so anyways, these are Orange Umbrella Co. and then these are Planner Kate. So I think I'm gonna use probably just all the same color, honestly. I don't think I need them to be separate colors. So I think I'm just gonna use these like navy blue ones up at the top because these match really well. So the thing is I want to put them over here on the sidebar, but I also want to make sure that I have the date that they're due. So let me think about how I want to do this. So I think I'm just gonna put like, maybe put the date above each one. So like maybe I'll add this one here and put the date that it's due above that one. I don't know, does that make sense? Hopefully that makes some sort of sense. Okay, so I think that's just how I'm gonna lay those out. So for each one, I'm gonna label what it is, when it's due, and then I can check off when it needs to get paid. Okay, so that is my bills for the month. So everything is basically set up in here then. So now we can go ahead and we're gonna skip these pages for now until I'm for sure about how I wanna set those up. And we're just gonna jump right into the July budget. Okay, so I don't know, I keep going back and forth on if I want this side to be the budget and this side to be the weekly check-in, or the other way around. I used to do it the other way around, but I think I'm gonna try it this way this month and see how I like it. All right, so let me grab out my washi and my budget set. So that's the July budget, and then that's the washi that I'm gonna use. And then I also have some thin washi as well. So first, I'm just gonna go ahead and lay down Okay, so I started to put the wrong one down. The thing I really like about Sara Marie's budget kits is that she gives you options. So this gives you the options to just do expenses, budget, actual, and then the difference. But I actually really like this one that she added where you have variable expenses and then fixed expenses. So I just feel like it makes it a little bit easier to kind of separate the two. Okay, so we're gonna pause there. And I think, so I have a couple different pens. I have the new Sharpie gel pen that I bought, but I don't think I want to use a gel pen. I kind of think I want to just stick to the regular Sharpie pen, but this one is a little thick. I think that's the medium. So I'm going to use the fine point one just so it's not quite as thick. So as far as income types, I'm just going to write salary. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and add in variable as well. Okay, so I'm not sure if I'm 100% comfortable yet, like sharing my salary with you guys. I know that, I mean, I'm just on a teacher salary, so it's pretty predictable. I mean, you can look up a typical teacher salary, and I'm just starting off as a first-year teacher, so I'm sure you can kind of guess, but for now, I'm gonna opt out of sharing it with you guys just to kind of keep that private. But I will still share like my budget and my expenses with you all. So for now, I'm just gonna leave this section blank while I'm filming. Okay, so then we're just gonna go ahead and jump into the budget part of it. So I already have my budget written on a notepad over here for me to sort of reference. I'm not just pulling these numbers out of thin air. I've sat down and really configured my budget for the month. Starting with variable expenses. Also, I do want to just point out real quick, you guys, I am not a financial advisor. I have no schooling in financial business, nothing like that. So literally, this is just me budgeting in a way that works for me. And I've learned everything that I know from YouTube, if I'm being 100% honest with you guys. So I just kind of wanted to throw out that disclaimer there. I am not certified to give you any sort of financial advice. This is just something that I am sharing with you guys as a reference to maybe get some ideas on your own of how you would like to budget and that sort of thing. So anyways, now that we've gotten that out of the way, so the first thing I'm going to write for variable expenses would be our electric bill. And then groceries would be next. And then eating out. Gas for my car. And then personal care. And then usually I like to add on a budget for like planner stuff / stickers, because I do purchase stickers about every month. But I did not include that in this particular month just because I am like stocked up on all the stickers and planner stuff that I need for the next couple of months. So I'm just not going to include it in this month's budget. So we're just gonna leave that out. And then I am gonna add an unbudgeted section. And then that's it as far as variable expenses go. So then we're going to move on over to fixed expenses. So this would be my rent, internet, then I have renter's insurance, and then I have all of my monthly subscriptions that I'm going to add in here, which would be iCloud, Apple Music, Amazon Prime, my yoga membership, and then Linktree, which I use for my YouTube and all of my affiliate links and that sort of thing. So shoot. Okay, so I kind of forgot that I need to put down my sinking funds in the variable expenses. So I'm just going to add that underneath unbudgeted. Normally I feel like I'd like to end with unbudgeted, but it's fine. We're just going to add it here at the bottom. Okay, so now that we have everything written in, I'm going to go ahead and add in some washi so that way I can draw my lines. So I would use these down here for my totals. So I was thinking about having an apartment category since I am kind of in the middle of like shopping for my apartment. But to be honest, like, I'm not really sure how much money to budget for my apartment. And so just to make my life easier, what I decided to do is go ahead and actually create a sinking fund for my apartment. And then I will just basically put like a set amount of money into my sinking fund for my apartment. And then even though I'm probably going to take money straight out of it this month, I'll just kind of do it that way. And then eventually I will have a steady sinking fund for my apartment in case there's anything that I need to fix or buy for it or anything like that. So it's kind of weird how I'm doing it, but it works for me. Again, not offering advice to anybody else. This is just what I'm thinking is going to work best for me. I do wish that I had a different one of these Sharpie pins because this one seems to be running out. Okay, I found another one, so we're going to see if this one is better. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and draw my lines now that I have those written in. And actually, I think it just looks so wonky. I think I'm just going to go ahead and like move these even. I think that looks good. All right, so I'm going to go in with my ruler and just draw my lines. All right, I don't think those lines are perfectly straight, but that's fine. All right, so then I'm just gonna add another strip of washi since I do have so much already. And then I'm gonna add at the very bottom the savings strip. Okay, so now I'm just gonna go in and kind of write my budget for each. So first and foremost, you should know that I do live on my own. If you haven't watched my videos before, I turned 23 this month. I just graduated college in December. I just started my first teaching job and I'm living on my own in an apartment. Nobody else lives with me, so the only person I'm paying for is myself. So that'll just kind of give you an idea of maybe what these numbers look like if you are somebody who is single and living on your own. So for electric, since it's summer, I'm gonna budget $75. I was actually pretty shocked last month when I saw that my bill was around $70. It was only like $40 when I first moved in April. So I quickly realized that, okay, in the summer, it's just gonna cost a lot more. So this month, I actually budgeted around $75. For groceries, I try to budget around $200. Since I'm only feeding myself, this is very, very doable. I know my first month I spent way too much money on groceries, but you know, those first few trips, you always have to stock up on things. And so I was really overwhelmed when I saw how much I was spending. But now that like things have slowed down and I've been living on my own for a couple of months, 200 seems like it's gonna be just the right amount. For eating out, I'm gonna try and give myself $20. Oops. I just realized I'm using my erasable pen, which I totally didn't mean to do. I really don't like using the erasable pen because it tends to lighten up. So I think I'm gonna erase this and use my regular pen. That is so funny. I didn't even realize that I picked this pen up. I have too many pens sitting next to me, so I'm gonna go ahead and rewrite those. For eating out, I try to keep it around 20 bucks a month. Sorry, $15 a month, which really kind of challenges me to only eat out about once a week. And if I don't eat out one week, then that's even better because then if I have like $30 for that week, then I can go somewhere really nice. So I try really, really hard not to eat out. So I'm just gonna give myself $60. And then gas for my car, I'm also gonna keep to around $60 because, I mean, honestly, in my new car, I should only need to fill it up like 3 times maybe. I'm not too worried about keeping it at 60. This will definitely increase once the school year starts because I have quite a commute to my teaching job, but right now in the summer I'm not doing a lot of driving, so $60 should be easy peasy. And I'm only about 15 minutes from everything from where I live, so that's gonna only be 60. And then for personal care, I usually give myself around $100. That probably seems like a lot, but I buy a lot of supplements, skincare, makeup. I do sell Arbonne, if you guys didn't know that already, and usually I can make enough money each month to pay for my products, and usually a little bit more. And then for unbudgeted, I budget $0. Now, it's never $0. Like, I always end up finding random things that I'm spending money on that I didn't really plan for, but I just keep it at $0 because I don't want to give myself that extra room to spend. And then sinking funds, I'm gonna leave blank for now, but that'll just be the total that I'm budgeting overall to add into my sinking funds. So then moving over to fixed expenses, rent is $7.75. Internet is only $19.99. I pay for the cheapest form of internet possible since I live in a studio loft, so it's like totally fine. So it's like totally unnecessary to pay for anything stronger because I just don't need it. And I'm even able to get my YouTube videos uploaded within just a couple of hours under this Wi-Fi. So anyways, I'm starting off with just the $20 internet because it seems to work just fine. And I do not pay for cable. And I'm very lucky because my Netflix is under my parents still, and they intend on letting me stay on that for at least a while. So then for renter's insurance, I pay $13.57 a month. For iCloud, I pay $2.99. Apple Music, I pay $9.99. Amazon Prime is $12.99. And I do think I'm going to switch back to paying yearly for Amazon because it does save you a little bit of money, and then I don't have to worry about paying it month to month. But I think I'm going to wait until January to do that. So then that way my Amazon account renews every January. And then for yoga, I do pay $65 a month. And that kind of, the date that I pay it sort of varies just because I renew it whenever I choose to renew it, sort of thing. And then my Linktree is $6 a month. Okay, so my total for my fixed expenses is $905.53. Okay, so then I'm just gonna leave the rest of this blank for now, and we're gonna come over and set up my weekly check-in. Hopefully this isn't like too much to do in one video, but I sort of felt like I didn't need to separate these videos just because, I don't know, it doesn't seem like it's too much to do all at once, but I guess we will eventually find out. So I'm gonna use that washi because I really like those washies next to each other. So I'm only gonna use 4 of the check-ins. And I have 5 categories. I should have 5 categories that I am keeping track of. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm gonna leave enough room for 5 spaces. Okay, so I think that that's all I'm gonna do. Now, I was thinking, since I have extra pages, that maybe in the future, like if I want to add more than 5 categories, because I was kind of thinking I might do that, then I could actually put the weekly check-in on like 2 pages next to each other. And then I would have some more room, but I don't know. We're just gonna kind of play around with it this year, and this is how I'm gonna start it off. This is exactly how Sara Marie does it. I think she only has 3 or 4 categories that she's tracking each week because a lot of her other categories fall into her sinking funds. And so she usually keeps track of all of that in her transaction log. So speaking of sinking funds and transaction log, I'm gonna go ahead and set both of those up here. So for my sinking funds, I'm gonna go ahead and set it up the same way. Okay, I was starting to get ahead of myself. So before I add the totals, I'm gonna go ahead and add all of my categories. So the categories that I want to have in my sinking funds as of right now are apartment, car insurance, gifts, car maintenance, and car tags. So hear me out. This is gonna look a little weird this month just because it is my first month starting these sinking funds up. But this is kind of how I'm planning on doing it. So I'm gonna go ahead and start with car tags. So since I just got a new car, I have a 90-day temporary tag, which gives me basically 3 months to save up for my car tags. So I want to go ahead and add that as a category in my sinking funds because then even once I pay for my tags here in a couple of months, I'm gonna have to turn around and start saving for my car tags starting next year. So I just want that to be something that I'm ready to pay for, that I won't have to worry about taking out of my monthly budget once March comes around, because March is when I renew my tags. So I'm gonna start with that. And then next I'm gonna add in car insurance. So I actually pay my car insurance twice a year is how I decided I'm going to do it. So I'm just gonna pay every 6 months. The only reason I did that was because honestly, if I can pay something in bigger chunks, less times throughout the year, and just get it out of the way, I feel better about it. I know a lot of people would rather have it month to month because they're smaller payments, but for me, this time around, like I had the money right away to just go ahead and pay 6 months worth of my insurance and be done with it. And then it felt like my monthly car payment was a little bit smaller. So it may seem like kind of counterintuitive to set aside money for car insurance when I did choose to pay 6 months instead of every month. But I want it to be more of an option. So like if I'm having a tougher month and I, don't really feel like I need or I can set aside enough money for my car insurance payment, then I can wait the next month and then add 2 months worth into my sinking fund for that. Hopefully that makes sense. I know I'm kind of weird when it comes to finances. My boyfriend and I are polar opposite and we think very, very differently when it comes to financing. But that's just kind of how my brain works. I feel better about doing it this way. So anyways, I'm just gonna create a car insurance sinking fund that I add to monthly. And then once my 6 month mark comes around, then I can just dump that money straight in and not feel like I'm taking it out of my budget. Okay, so then I'm also going to add car maintenance. So this one is going to be interesting because I recently got into a fender bender, and I've already talked about this in one of my Plan With Me's. It was a very, very small fender bender. No cracking, no denting. It was literally just some scratches of paint off of my car. But of course, my car color is pearl white, and that already ups the cost on painting it because apparently pearl white paint is kind of expensive. And then on top of that, they are going to have to remove my entire bumper and refinish the entire thing because the paint was scratched off deep enough that you can see the black bumper underneath. So unfortunately, it's probably going to cost me anywhere from $800 to $1,000 to get my car repainted professionally. And And so I just want to be ready for this sort of thing. So it's going to be kind of silly this month because basically I'm just going to dump $1,000 into my car maintenance fund and then immediately take it out to get work done on my car. But then I'm going to have like a set amount every month that I'm actually going to pour back into my car maintenance fund just so that I'll have it for when this comes up. I'm also not going to include this car maintenance money coming out of my budget. So I'm not going to include it in the total over here because I'm actually going to take that money straight out of my savings. I don't want to do that, but honestly, I just can't afford to include it in with my budget this month. And I do want to get it finished this month because I don't want to have to worry about driving my car and something else happening to it or any of that. So this may seem kind of weird, but specifically for the car maintenance, I'm taking that out of my savings account rather than my checking account. And I'm just going to go ahead and use it this month. Then next, I'm going to add my apartment category. So this was one of those things that I was like, okay, do I want to just create this as a monthly category in my budget? Or do I want to create a sinking fund for this? And I think I'm just gonna go ahead and create a sinking fund for it because I'm always gonna need something for my apartment, right? Like I just moved, so it's gonna take me a while to get everything that I'm wanting or needing. I've even bought some cheaper like temporary things to hold off until I can get myself something nicer. So this is gonna be a weird category because I need stuff for my apartment right now. Like I did not do a good job of saving for when I moved out. And so I'm just kind of trying to make up for that. So this is, again, a weird category because I'm going to be dumping money in and immediately taking money out, and it's probably going to be wonky for a while, but I really do think it'll be most helpful just having it as a sinking fund category, at least long term. Maybe not right now, but long term it will be. And then the last category I'm going to add in is gifts. So I was going to have this be like a Christmas sinking fund, but to be honest, Christmas is only 6 months away, and I would rather start that sinking fund like in January of next year after this Christmas is over, because I just don't intend on going too crazy with Christmas this year. Like, just bought a car, just moved out, going to have to start paying off my student loans here in a couple of months. Like, I have a lot of expenses that are new expenses for me, and so Christmas is not honestly going to be a priority this year. But I still wanted to add a general gifts category because I do have a lot of family, and I do have like not only birthdays, but graduation parties and just different things that come up. And it's always nice to be able to get my friends and family a little something without it breaking the bank and without having to pull it out of my monthly budget. So I'm just gonna go ahead and create a gifts category for now. Eventually, I do want to add a category for travel. I want to have one for entertainment, just because like I don't include entertainment in my monthly budget because it's not every month that I'm really using that. I don't always need to set aside money for entertainment. I don't go out and spend a lot of money and do extra things, but I would like to just have it set aside for when I do decide to go do something like that. I just remembered there's one more category that I actually think I'm going to add in now, and I haven't configured it into the rest of the budget, so I'm not sure how much I'll add to it right now, but I do really want to get a new phone. And so I think that I'm just going to go ahead and create a sinking fund for it so that way I can start saving, because I really don't need one, but it's more of just a want, and it's something that I want to eventually be able to get myself. So I'm going to add that in as well. All right, so those are all of my sinking fund categories. So I'm going to go ahead and add my totals strip, because as you can see, like I really don't have very many. And even this is kind of a lot to start with. Like, I'm interested to see how I will keep up with this, but I'm going to go ahead and write in 0 as the beginning balance for all of these. Okay, so for beginning, I'm literally just going to draw lines through all of these because I don't have any current sinking funds set up. And then I'm gonna go ahead now and add in the amounts for each one. So for my car tags, I'm going to add in $118 because it's looking like my tags for the first purchase will be around $355. So breaking that down for the next 3 months, I should be able to have enough. And then for car insurance, we're gonna add $74. For car maintenance, I'm going to add $1,000, and that is going to, again, come straight from my savings. Like, thank goodness that I had that because I would have been screwed this month. For apartment, I'm going to add $200. For gifts, I'm going to add $150. And then let me figure out the cell phone. Okay, so for cell phone, honestly, I'm just gonna add in $100. That's probably not very much, but that's just what I'm gonna add in for now because I really didn't think about that at first when I was putting this together, but that's where we're just gonna kind of start. So, totals over here then, let's go ahead and add these up. So we have 118 plus 74 plus 1,000 plus 200 plus 150 plus 100. So total, we are adding in, we have 0 to start. And then we're adding in $1,642. But keep in mind, 1,000 of that is coming straight from savings. So that's just something that I'm gonna have to remember when adding it into the budget. And then over here is where we are going to add the transaction log. So there's the sinking funds and then the transaction log that goes with it. And then that is pretty much it. So the very last thing that I'm gonna add in, so I said I would set this up at a later time. I'll probably do this in a separate video. But then the last thing that I want to do is go ahead and set up my variable income. This is something that I won't really, like check in with you guys on, but I figured I might as well at least just get it set up real quick. But as far as variable income goes, I, again, just would prefer to keep it private, at least for now. But I definitely want to kind of set this up for you guys. I'm gonna give it a few different spaces. So I'll leave Arbonne and I'll leave some space for affiliate links. So I'm just gonna add in, like leave a couple different spaces because sometimes, you know, you just get money randomly and you really don't expect it. Like I probably will get money on my birthday, so I might, you know, add that in here. I'm not 100% sure yet, but that's kind of how I'm gonna choose to go about it. And there it is. That would be my variable income setup. That's all I'm gonna do on film, but everything is there. So we have my variable income. Let's just kind of flip through this now. We have my variable income, And then we open up to my expense tracking, and I have my 5 categories on my little key card. So that way I can use these, and I will just stick these in the back of the planner and pull them out when I do my weekly check-ins. And I already do need to do my weekly check-in for the first week. But anyways, then I have my bills over here on the side and the date that each of them are due, so I can make sure that I pay those. Then again, this is where I have a few different dashboard things that I'm going to put together, and I will film that as well. Then I have my July budget and my weekly check-in. And then I have sinking funds and transaction log. So that should be pretty much everything, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this budget video. If you did, please, please, please leave a comment. Let me know what you want to see. Feel free to give me any advice you may have. I am not one of those people that will turn away advice at any point. If you have questions about how I'm doing something, or if I've considered doing something a certain way, please just let me know. I really, really, really do want your guys' feedback on these budget videos that I will be posting, just because I want to make sure it's something that you guys are actually watching and actually enjoying, because if you're not, then really there's no point for me to share these with you guys. It does take more time to get out my camera and explain my process. So I just want to make sure that it's going to be worth it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I do upload new videos every single week. Thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you all in my next video. Bye guys.